Good morning. I am Chris Asaro, and I am president of Holt Construction. Holt Construction is one of the country's leading builders, and we are especially recognized for our work in the aviation sector with a large portfolio in the Northeast. We have been working at Newark Liberty International Airport for over 30 years. Holt is very committed to diversity and including small and local business OBs and LBs in our work. Our work also supports local residents and how they can build a career in construction. Today, we are launching a new program, Building Newark Airport Together. Our session today will give you a better understanding of the projects we are working on, how you can get involved, and the resources we will be providing to you over the next several months. Today's program is designed in two parts. Part one is for businesses interested in contract opportunities. That segment, which is beginning now, will continue until 12:30 and will include live questions and answers. Part two is for local residents who are interested in beginning a career in construction, whether it's in the field or in the office. I strongly recommend you tune into that segment if you want to identify new opportunities for great jobs in construction. Now it's my pleasure to introduce one of the visionary infrastructure leaders in the region, Rick Cotton, Executive Director of the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. Rick's mission is to get Newark's Terminal A built and to build it right with the best talent from the construction industry and the community. The Port Authority is an excellent partner, and it is my privilege to welcome Rick Cotton.
Hi, I'm Rick Cotton, Executive Director of the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. I'm extremely pleased to be able to join today's event, albeit virtually. Let me begin with a few thank yous. I want to thank Holt Construction and its president, Chris Asaro, and I want to thank the leadership at the New Jersey Building, Construction, and Trades Council for working so closely with the Port Authority to continue to transform Newark Airport into a truly world-class airport, and in particular to build a 21st century Terminal A. The new Terminal A is an exciting project. The Port Authority has committed more than $2 billion to replace the current outdated Terminal A with a brand new 21st century terminal. This world-class facility will serve as the centerpiece of Newark Airport's redevelopment program. What brings us here today is a twin focus on contracting with minority and women-owned businesses, particularly in the cities of Newark and Elizabeth, and ensuring as much hiring as possible from the Newark and Elizabeth communities. The Port Authority is committed to assuring that this major construction project benefits the local community. In 2018, we announced nation-leading contracting goals across all our airport redevelopment efforts, including right here at Newark Airport. Our target is for 30% of contracts across the airport project go to women or minority-owned businesses. Now, with the start of work targeted on building out concessions in this 21st century new Terminal A, there will be many business opportunities over the coming weeks and months. You will be hearing more about those opportunities today. That is the point, the very important point of today's discussion. I applaud again Holt Construction for organizing this event. I believe it can make a very significant contribution, and I congratulate all involved. Thank you for participating, and I hope you have a valuable and informative session. And I hope to see many of you at Terminal A soon.
My name is Lino Santiago, and I'm the president of the Essex County Building and Construction Trade Council. We are one of 13 building trades councils throughout the state. Established in 1903, the New Jersey State Building Trades coordinates and provide resources to 15 affiliate trade unions in the construction industry. It represents more than 100 local unions and over 150,000 members. And today, I also bring greetings from our president, William Mullen. The Essex County Council advocates for safer jobs, apprenticeship and journey-level training, organizing new workers, improve wages and benefits through collective bargaining and project labor agreements. Newark's Terminal A is the centerpiece for New Jersey's economic redevelopment. It will create good jobs and new business opportunities for local businesses, MWBEs, and veteran-owned businesses. We are proud to partner to increase opportunities for New Jersey's local businesses and its residents. Now let's go and build Newark Airport together. Thank you.
Thank you, Lino. We will be sure to check in on your session, Careers in Construction, which begins at 12:30 p.m. I know that session will introduce our audience to both apprenticeship and pre-apprenticeship programs for the building trades, as well as other potential career opportunities. Now let's go to part one of our program. We have 3 short segments planned. Session 1, about the projects at Terminal A. Session 2, an introduction to our project team. And session 3, how to get pre-qualified with Holt Construction. Finally, do remember to remain on the last session. We will be taking your live questions at the conclusion of our pre-qualification segment, right before the construction and careers session begins. Now let's move along and introduce you to the upcoming projects at Newark's new Terminal A. We will be reviewing the first 8 projects, so please note there will be more throughout our year of programming. Let's welcome Pamela Skidmore, one of Holt's project managers for the new Terminal A, who will lead our next session.
Hi, I'm Pamela Skidmore, and I'm one of Holt project managers at Newark Terminal A. This segment is designed to introduce you to Newark Terminal A's projects and the 8 projects you will be able to bid on with Holt. As you've already learned, Terminal A is New Jersey's largest design build project and its largest airport redevelopment project. Holt is working on interior fit outs as well as a large ground up construction and interior installation. First, let me introduce our Holt project leads, and then we can overview the 8 projects that comprise Holt's construction program. Let's meet Mark Phillips, our Director of Construction for Aviation Assignments at Holt. Mark.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Mark Phillips. I'm the Director of Construction for Aviation. I oversee the work at EWR, JFK, LaGuardia, and then some outside airport projects across the country. I want to thank everybody for attending today.
Next, our Director of Pre-Construction, Joseph Martinez.
Hello, everyone. Joe Martinez here, Director of Pre-Construction. I handle all pre-construction services along with the estimating for all the projects currently at Newark.
Great. You have just now met 2 key leaders at Holt that ensure our construction programs move seamlessly. Our goal is for you to get to know them so they can get to know you. Now let's take a quick look at the 8 projects that we know you want to learn more about.
We have some exciting projects that we're already starting to work on. The first project I'll talk about is a 60,000 square foot ground up construction project. This includes core and shell, as well as interior finishes as part of the EWR redevelopment. So there's a lot of opportunity on project 1. It's a fairly large project. Project number 2 is a mixture of work inside the new terminal as well as some existing terminals. A portion of this project is for a new lounge fit out, GFC construction, IT work. There's a lot of interiors associated with this project, woods, plastics, and finishes. That's a very exciting project. We also have concessions. Joe will speak on some concessions as well. We have a 5,400 square foot concession. It's a food and beverage concession, so there'll be a lot of finishes and a lot of mechanical components associated with it. And then the last project I'm going to speak about is another concession project, food and beverage, 2,430 square feet. Again, a lot of finishes, heavy HVAC components, some exciting opportunities.
Great. Thanks, Mark. The next 5 through 8 projects, as everyone will hear, are just a series of concessions, as Mark said. As the terminal opens, there will be more and more concession opportunities, but they're currently as follows. We have project 5. It's about 2,400 square feet of concession space. Food and beverage has all major trades, drywall, ceilings, tile, stone, finishes, all MEPS trades. So that's something that's coming along. Project 6 will be a 1,500 square foot concession. Once again, food and beverage with the same trades, through carpentry, demolition, through electric. Project 7 is a smaller concession, standalone, about 850 feet. I'm sorry. All the trades, carpentry, tile, stone, MEPs, and some architectural features that of an awning and that stuff of that nature. And lastly, Project 8 is a 1,500 square foot food and beverage concession. Again, all the major trades, carpentry through electric. So that'll be just rounding out what we currently have in-house now.
Thanks for this overview. Now, just a few quick questions that our audience may have. Joe, if a company is already pre-qualified with Holt, will they be receiving bid opportunities?
Yes, they will. I mean, that is the, for those of you who don't know about Holt, we do a very extensive pre-qualification process. And what we do is we try to mitigate risk, as long as risk for the contractors, that we know what they can bid on. So yes, if they've gone through that process, they will most likely be invited to participate in opportunities.
And if a company isn't pre-qualified, once they get pre-qualified, do they automatically get included on bid solicitation? And how does that work?
Well, I won't say that they automatically get included, but what we will do is review the qualified contractors weekly, bi-weekly, and see how we kind of spread out the program. They will eventually get added on to the bid lists. They can also, once they find out that they're pre-qualified, they can also call us and say, hey, listen, we've passed our pre-qualification process. We'd like to start bidding some of the work there.
Now, Mark, will there be any opportunities for smaller companies to team with larger ones?
Absolutely. So in other programs that we've done, we're very proud of the progress that we've made in creating relationships between some larger firms and some smaller firms to enhance the overall participation of the project. So as part of our work together, we will try to facilitate those relationships and those opportunities.
And finally, how will our audience learn about these opportunities? Where should they go to find more information?
That's a great question. So starting in January, every Friday, we are going to have Opportunity Friday. So we encourage and look for everyone to participate in the Opportunity Fridays. They can also visit the Diversity Agenda at www.diversityagenda.com/EWRTA after this event and in the future for more information.
Thanks, Mark and Joe. There are a lot of information to learn about regarding contract opportunities. We encourage all of you to visit our program site for more details. We will be announcing project opportunities and schedules every week. Stay tuned for our next segment, segment 3, that will introduce our Terminal A project team.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Alexandria Parati, Director of Corporate Initiatives and Strategic Planning at Holt Construction. Our last session reviewed the projects and provided a snapshot into the scopes of work that will be included in the contract packages. Our goal for this is a quick session to introduce you to the key members of our project team at Newark's Terminal A. I would like to ask each of the 3 professionals we have today to introduce themselves. So please share who you are, what you do at Holt, and maybe even give a little personal insight into how you can help our attendees engage in all of the upcoming great projects we have at Newark's Terminal A. So let's begin with Jason Leisure, Project Executive for New Jersey.
Good afternoon. My name is Jason Leisure, and I am the Project Executive and leader of Holt's New Jersey construction operations.
Great. Thank you, Jason. Next, we have Brian Folk. He's our project director for Newark's Terminal A. Brian, why don't you introduce yourself to everyone here today and say a little bit about what you do.
Hello, Alex. My name is Brian Folk from Holt Construction. I'm a project executive in the Holt Aviation Division located in the Newark office.
Hello, I'm Jason McKay, a Director of Estimating for Holt Construction. I am intimately involved in all of our business units for all proposals that go out, lump sum as well as CM.
That's great, Jason. I think everybody will appreciate that they can get a hold of you and Brian and Jason Leisure whenever they have a question regarding any project at Holt, and especially any project at the new Terminal A. So let's go through a couple questions so that everyone watching can get a feel for what you are all looking for when an estimate comes in, and let's get to it. Let's talk about some advice. So some advice that you would want to give the attendees for deciding whether or not a project is right for them, Jason McKay. So what could you say when a subcontractor is looking at an RFP that came from you? What are some of the tips and tools that you could say to them what they should look at to make sure that it's the right fit for their business?
First, I would advise them to look thoroughly through the drawings and specs. That will give them the timeline as well as the magnitude of the job. If there's a walkthrough, visit the walkthrough. If the job occurs at a time where you guys are overloaded, then I would say walk away. If the job is too big for you guys, then I would advise to walk away. But if you feel the timing is right and it's the price range is in your range, then I would say jump on it.
So Brian Folk, the next question is for you. And it pertains to what we were just discussing with Jason McKay. What do you suggest smaller firms who have not worked in larger aviation projects or have not worked in any aviation projects do if they want to get involved and they're not ready yet? What can you suggest they do if they're a little trepidatious about the aviation environment, but they do want the opportunity to test it out and see how they do? What would you suggest for them?
Well, that's a great question, Alex. Holt uses a platform called Remo that helps build these has relationship building sessions. It's to partner or facilitate partnering larger firms, that being subcontractors and suppliers, also with smaller firms that are looking for that opportunity. I believe it can be found on the website.
Okay. And our last question as we wrap up our session is for you, Jason Leisure. So once a firm is pre-qualified and a bidding opportunity has been offered to them, do you have any guidance on best practices for evaluating their price versus performance? What do you look for in a bid, and what do you suggest for a subcontractor once they've submitted a bid?
Also a good question. I actually look for both. Lowest price, because price dictates the project and whether or not we're going to be awarded the project or we're going to be moving forward with that project. But it really comes down to best value and what I'm going to be getting out of that value and that price. Do you have the entire scope captured? Is there anything that you may be missing, or is there a piece of that? Is it captured completely? Making sure that you have a complete package in that value. If you are unsure at any time, if there's any piece of it as you're going through the bidding process, feel free to contact us, reach out to us. Like Jason said, our phones are always on. Our email is always available, ewrta@holtcc.com. You can reach out to us and let us ask for advice, ask us any questions you have about the project. Are you unsure about anything that you're submitting? We're here to offer any help that we possibly can.
Thanks, Jason. And I want to thank our panel. Our next session will give you a snapshot of our pre-qualification process. And remember, in January, we will begin a weekly program of information sessions that will give you an in-depth look and in-depth information on how to pre-qualify with us, as well as some best practices for growing your business and working with Holt. And again, I want to remind everyone, if you have any questions about this session or any of our sessions, please email us at ewrta@holtcc.com. You will get one of our professionals who are intimately involved in Terminal A, and they will answer your email. Thank you all. Welcome, everyone. Holt's pre-qualification process is your first step to being included in our bidding pool for an upcoming project. As we reviewed in segment 2, we have a number of projects for our clients at Newark's new Terminal A. In order for you to bid on a project or be considered for more than one project, we need you to pre-qualify your company with us. To help you get started in the process, we'd like you to meet our pre-qualification leadership team. These professionals are the key people who will be in touch with you about your pre-qualification submission. Today, we want you to know who they are and also learn briefly about our pre-qualification process. So let's meet them now. Jessica, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, I am Jessica Rondash, the Manager of Corporate Strategy and Development.
Nikki, could you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Nikki Bennett. I'm the Contracts Manager with Holt.
And last but not least, Rosie, can you introduce yourself?
Hi guys, my name is Rosie Collage and I'm the Compliance Coordinator for the project.
Thank you everyone for introducing yourselves and for joining us today. Now I'd like to take a few minutes to help our audience understand Holt's pre-qualification process. In all of our conversations, we continue to emphasize how important this application is to complete and submit to us. Let's take a quick review of the application. Rosie, can you start us off, please?
Of course. The first step to contract opportunity is to communicate with us. Email the Holt pre-qualification team. You can send your email to the Holt team at ewrta@holtcc.com and subject line Newark Terminal A pre-qualification request. First thing you should include on your email request is the opportunity in which you are interested in. If you don't see a specific opportunity, you can always list out the types of services you provide, and we will get back to you with the details about whether there will be opportunities or if they may be available later during the life of the project. Secondly, your firm's trade specialty or professional capabilities. If you have a capability statement, please include it in your email. And lastly, point of contact information. We will need to contact you, so please include your email as well as your telephone number and the first name or the right point of contact in regards to this. The next thing that will happen is once your request is received, our team will start the pre-qualification process immediately. If a proposal date has passed, please feel free to reach out to us to inquire if an extension may be granted.
Nikki, can you please go through the steps for our pre-qualification process?
Sure thing. So to pre-qualify with Holt, you'll need the following documents. Well, once we receive your request, you'll receive a link to begin the pre-qualification process. Here are the exact documents you will need to complete the pre-qualification process. Number 1, the W-9 form. This form enables you to provide your taxpayer identification number. It is a form you can obtain by going online to your bookkeeper and downloading the form. Number 2, sample certificate of insurance. Call your insurance broker and request your certificate of insurance. This form states the coverages you have under your current insurance policies. The insurance you must carry and confirm coverage for include general liability insurance of $1 million, auto insurance $1 million, umbrella liability of a minimum of $5 million, and workers' comp $1 million. Number 3, New Jersey Holt Master Agreement. The link to download the master agreement is in the pre-qualification application. Read this agreement, and then if you are in full agreement with its terms, execute the agreement. The agreement may only be signed by an officer of your company. Number 4, Corporate Health and Safety Plan. A health and safety plan, or HASP, is an important part of managing your workforce on the project. If you don't have a formal HASP, please contact your insurance broker or reach out to your outreach team for help. And lastly, the litigation log. This is a summary of any litigation or regulatory actions that may have been taken by your company or against your company.
Great, thank you, Nikki. Jessica, can you go through the second part of the documents required for the pre-qual?
Of course. In addition to the documents that Nikki stated, you'll also need your corporate financial statement, which is your most recent corporate financial statement as prepared by a CPA. If you don't have a certified financial statement, you may satisfy this requirement by providing 3 years of tax filings and a current profit and loss statement and balance sheet. You will need to call your accountant to get the latest documents. You also need your EMR rating, which is also known as an experience modification rating. This can also be called a mod rating or factor, and it's used to price workers' compensation insurance premiums. Think of it like your credit score or car driving history, where others consider your history as an indication of future risk. Contact your insurance broker for your current EMR rating. You'll also need your MWBE certifications. Please upload all your certifications. We encourage you to become certified with the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. If you're certified with the state of New Jersey, you should look into becoming certified with the Port Authority. If you're not certified, begin that process as soon as possible. You'll also need your safety requirements. So each company and all of its workers must certify that it has met OSHA 30 safety training. That includes OSHA 10 certification with 20 hours of additional safety training. You will be also asked to submit your safety plan. And finally, you'll need to complete the pre-qualification form. Once the pre-qualification form is completed and all the documents are uploaded, submit the form to us. If any item is missing, our online system will notify you of that omission. If the application is complete, it will be submitted to Holt's pre-qualification team.
Thank you, Jessica. Rosie, can you wrap us up here on our steps?
Of course. So we have several sessions scheduled to help you along the way, and the pre-qualification process is probably the most important first step. So to assist you in completing the process, we have developed several sessions that will begin in January 2022 to provide you with more information and to complete the process, as well as to better understand the requirements for working with Holt and Newark's Terminal A. This also pertains to other Holt projects as well, so not just at Newark, but with Holt in general. So if you want to learn more about these sessions, on page 32 of our event publication, or view them on our program website at diversityagenda.com/EWRTA/Opportunity Fridays.
Thank you, everybody. So in the short time remaining, could you answer some questions that many businesses watching this program might have? So Rosie, I'm going to start with you. What should you do if you don't have the right documents, or if you don't have all the documents ready available when you start your application?
So best thing that you guys can do is just reach out to our team with the Newark email that we have listed for you. If you don't have all the documentation for the pre-qual, just let us know. Sometimes there are items on there that may not pertain to your specific trade or that you're not required to upload. If you don't have the right documents, we will help you along the way to kind of gear you towards the right direction on the pre-qual for those specific documents.
Great. Thank you, Rosie. And we'll put that email address in the chat too, so everyone has it. Nikki, the next question is for you. How should you be working with your professional team?
Sure. So if as they're going through their questionnaire and they have questions regarding the legal portion of the questionnaire, for example, they should reach out to their preferred counsel and ask them to assist them, especially with regards to the litigation log. For financials, they should have their controller or CPA speak to our controller. He's very accessible and willing to work with everyone. And for insurance concerns, our broker can work with their broker to resolve any issues.
Great. That seems so easy and helpful. Jessica, last question for you. Technical assistance. What should you do if you need technical assistance? If you have any questions regarding the application, any problems with the system, what should they do?
Your first step should be to reach out to our EWRTA email, and our team will assist you. And if it's something we can't help with, we'll loop in building connected support to help with any technical issues with the application.
Thanks, everyone. Today's introduction to Holt's pre-qualification process is the door opener to help you get started. We are also offering several more sessions to help you take a deeper dive into the pre-qualification process to ensure that you can pre-qualify successfully. Be sure to visit our program site, www.diversityagenda.com/EWRTA, and specifically the Opportunity Friday sessions, and register for them. They are all live now. Now, before we go to the live Q&A, I want to remind everyone that we have created a very special program for one-on-ones that will help you identify the right project for your company, as well as help you better understand how to grow your company. Throughout our programming, we will also be using virtual platforms, some of which will enable you to meet one-on-one with our professional team, as well as subcontractors contracted on the various projects, so you can gain opportunity from them as well. With that being said, let's take your questions. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. Before we get to the live Q&A, let's introduce our panelists for segment one. With us today, we have Dr. Keith Wright, Director of Business Diversity Operations for the Port Authority. We have Mark Phillips, Director of Construction for Aviation. We have Joe Martinez, Director of Pre-Construction Services. We have Rosie Collage, our Compliance Manager. We have Jessica Rondash, our Manager of Corporate Strategies and Development. Nikki Bennett, our Contracts Manager. And last but not least, Jason McKay, our Director of Estimating. Thank you, everybody, for joining us and welcome. There's a lot of questions today, so let's have at it. Question 1, are there opportunities for wellness services-based businesses? Many airports now have yoga and meditation spaces. Would there be an opportunity for me to propose programming for a space like that in EWR? So as part of the Holt Construction opportunities, that is not included, but we do want you to send us your contract information and we will provide that information to our clients. So if they do want something like that, we can give your compatibility statement to them. Thank you for that question. The next question is, if this event is only focused on WMBEs. So Mark, would you like to answer that question? If we're only focused on that, are there going to be opportunities for VOBs, SDVOs, and local businesses? Are we opening up for opportunity for everyone?
Yes, I would say absolutely. We're opening up for opportunity for everyone. Veteran-owned businesses are very important to us as at Holt Construction as well. So our intention is to open these projects up for all participants. Thank you for that question.
So we welcome everyone to pre-qualify with us because that is your first gateway in order to receive bidding packages for these exciting projects. Next question for Nikki. If someone doesn't have a legal log or they don't know how to find a legal log, Nikki, could you give them some tips on how to locate something like that?
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. So yeah, they should go on to the New Jersey Supreme Court portal and search their company's name and the owner's name, and they should be able to pull up historical data on any litigation filed against the company.
Great. Thank you, Nikki. The next question, I'll give it to you, Joe. Is there any construction management opportunity for any of these projects?
Well, I mean, it's a great question. I mean, we are acting as the CM on this. So there are opportunities. We can look to potentially a partnering opportunity, but right now we are acting as the CM. So.
Great. Next question. My pre-qualification does not show as complete, but I can't figure out what needs to change. How do I get help? Jessica, could you answer that question?
Sure. The best thing to do is email us at our EWRTA@holtcc.com email, and we'll take a look. And if it's something we can't figure out, we'll put you in touch with Building Connected support team, and they'll be able to tell you what's missing from the application.
Great. The next question would be for Mark. Are there any opportunities on the current offerings for asbestos abatement?
That's difficult. Generally, this is a new construction project at Terminal A. There are some opportunities for some underground work where we may encounter some abatement required elements, but it would be after discovery. So there is a possibility. We would like you to certainly get pre-qualified, and if those opportunities do happen to occur, then we would certainly reach out to you.
Right, and we want to remind the audience again that if you pre-qualify with Holt Construction, it is not just for Terminal A. It is for any project that Holt has that you are available to bid on. So make sure you pre-qualify with us. Okay, next question is. Lots of questions today. Will there be an opportunity for professional services firms? Joe, would you like to answer that question?
Yeah, I think there is definitely an opportunity for professional services firms. Again, I think that goes back to what we were saying before. We would probably get their information and we can forward it to the appropriate parties over at the port to get that handled.
And there will be some delegated design on some of the larger projects, and there will be professional services required for some delegated design elements. So again, certainly communicate with us. We can take your information and send it either suppliers or owners, like Joe said.
Great. Jessica, for you, part of the insurance qualification does not apply to my firm. Will that knock me out of an opportunity?
No, definitely not. So whatever applies to your firm, fill it out. When we're reviewing the application, we'll see what type of firm you are and we'll take that into account. And then of course, if we have any questions or need any clarifications, we will reach out to you directly to get that sorted out.
Great. And Jessica, if they do have any questions on the pre-qual, if they have any hiccups or any problems, can you give our email address again for questions, and we'll have our consultant put it in the chat as well.
Sure, that's EWRTA@holtcc.com. And anything you send there, we'll be able to, if it's not something we can handle, we'll figure out who can handle it and we'll get you in touch with the right people.
Great. Keith, the next question is for you. What is meant by diversity within diversity?
Great question, and thank you, Alex. The airport is being built in the cities of Newark and Elizabeth, as was outlined by our chairman, and the demographics of Newark and Elizabeth cover the gamut in terms of who lives there, whether it's African Americans, it's Hispanics, it's SDVOBs, it's Portuguese folks. And so when you think about including the community, it's the whole community that we would like to benefit based on their qualifications and their interests. So when you think about diversity within diversity, just think about all of the different people who make up the community who want to participate and who go through your pre-qualifications and certified by the Port Authority. We want to extend an opportunity to all of them, and we would like to see as many of them as possible working on each and every project.
Great, thank you, Keith. The next question is, will you have an outreach event so that local MWBEs, electrical suppliers, can meet with the electrical contractor who has been awarded the project? So this is an amazing question, and I will answer it. We do have opportunities coming. We want you to check our website. We will place meetings with contractors that have been awarded. So if your company is small and you do not want to take on a project on your own, we schedule a meet and greet with you with a company that's could be larger, that is already awarded the project, so that you can make that connection with them and possibly work on a project, because we understand that working in the airport environment can be a little frightening for a new company. There's a lot of risk there. So the way to get your feet wet might be best for you to work with another company and partner with them. So we are going to enable those relationships and those meetups throughout our programming. And those sessions will start in about the spring. So please make sure, and I'll have our consultants put in the chat our website for Terminal A. They'll put that in this chat, and you'll see all of the opportunities to bid as they come up. Like I said, there are going to be more than just the 8. So you'll see all of those opportunities. There will be links that you can connect with our team. You'll be able to ask questions. There's a lot of information. You could register for every one of our outreach events, and the first 3 months of our outreach events are all on the website. They're live and they're ready for you to register for. So if you see anything there that pertains to you or you want to know, please join. And at the end of all of those sessions, I review personally all of the current offerings for Terminal A, and you can ask any question at that time as well. The next question, we have so many questions today. As a WBE master distributor selling tools and products for contractors, especially many heavy trades who you worked with at JFK, are there opportunities here at Newark? So Mark, would you like to answer that question? Will there be opportunities for distributors of tools at Newark's Terminal A?
Absolutely. Similar to what Alex just said, we're going to conduct meet and greets between contractors and suppliers as well. So some of them will be virtual, some of them will be in person. So there's absolutely opportunity with us directly, and then with vendors that are working on the program. So we'll be happy to have your information and perform those introductions.
Great. Jason McKay, you've been silent over there, so this one came in just for you. When a subcontractor submits a proposal, what are certain things that you look to see within their submission, things that are usually left out? What are some tips that you could give everyone that you and your estimating group looks for when you're descoping, when you're reviewing a bid?
We want to make sure that the subcontractor has captured the complete scope, that they looked at the specs on the job. If there's any alternates, if they carried any allowances, we need them to break that out so that we can qualify in the job. We need to know all their exclusions and qualifications. We want to make sure that they know the slab heights and they've understood the logistics of getting back and forth to the job, because that will impact their price.
Great. Now, Mark, a follow-up question to that. If a subcontractor wants to see the site, or if they have questions, how do we schedule those kinds of walkthroughs or a meeting with the Holt team?
So it's early on currently. The first thing we would do is meet with the Holt team, understand what those questions are, and then based on the project, we try to get as many of the vendors together as we can, and then perform a site walkthrough. Based on the development of the area, sometimes a site walkthrough won't necessarily show you exactly what's needed, so it's good to have that pre-bid conference and then conduct that site walkthrough. So really just stay in communication with us as you're in your bidding process, and we'll be able to arrange whatever you need.
Right. And we want to encourage everyone to ask as many questions as you have, because working in the airport environment is quite different from any other environment you've ever been in. So if you have a question, don't feel like it's too small or it's too large, just ask the question. Joe Martinez, will there be laser scanning required on any of these projects?
Absolutely. It is a requirement for us. It's a requirement for the port too, if I'm not mistaken, to laser scan these jobs. But yeah, we use it. We currently have a couple of jobs right now that are using laser scanning, and I can definitely say that there will be the need for it in the future. Yes. Great.
And as a follow-up to that question, not just laser scanning, environmental and 3D scanning services, how do those professionals get involved in the projects?
I'll take that one, depending on the specification for the project, but we will be receiving BIM models associated with some of the fit outs that we are doing. We may be checking the accuracy of that model through 3D scanning. So there will absolutely be opportunity through the project, for sure.
Okay, the next question is, why would a job be too big for a firm? So I could answer that one, and then Mark, if you want to follow up on that, you can. So it depends on how big your firm is. If you're a small firm, you don't want to be bidding on a $50 million project and get that and not be able to perform that work. So that would be hurtful to your own firm. Mark, could you follow up on that?
Yeah, absolutely. There's, as part of taking any project, you have to analyze the overall cash flows of it and the contracts that we have with our owners as well. So some projects, if it requires 35, 40 persons on site performing the work, that may be too large for a firm, but it's but that's not necessarily the case. So just analyze the work that's represented in the packages.
Right. And I want to tell everyone that all of our opportunities, there's 8 up there so far, and they range in scale from large to small. So there's definitely at least 1 to 2 opportunities for everyone that'll fit your company. Go ahead, Joe.
No, I was actually just going to say the same thing. There's going to be multiple opportunities. I think it's, you and I were talking earlier about getting this to a public forum. We can probably talk about that too. And they can see what kind of, what project best fits their company. They could be the $200,000 project, $300,000 project, or as Mark said earlier, anywhere between an $80 and $90 million project. So it's best what fits their particular company.
Great. The next question, I'm an MBE certified with the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. I have worked on Terminal A during the facade inspection on October 2019 to January 2020. We have a lot of surveying data and a lot of information from that expectant. I was wondering, how can I get involved with this project? So I'll answer that question. Again, send an email to the EWRTA email address and send us your compatibility statement, and we'll see where you could fit in with the project, or we could forward your information to our clients for their use. Thank you for that question. Next question. We are owners, reps, and constantly looking for WBEs to perform our jobs to meet the targets. This is often a challenging task. Would you be able to share a copy of this chat so we can copy the WBE contacts that we are provided? So if you would like to have a copy of the attendees list for a certain trade, please email us at EWRTA@holtcc.com, and we could send you that information so that you can be a part of all of the contractors that are here today. Next question. Are subcontractors required to have written health and safety plans, OSHA 10 or 30-hour training, and third-party safety inspections? Mark or Joe, this could be for one of you.
We'll split it up. Yeah, a HASP is definitely required for it. Job hazard analysis are conducted daily based on the tasks that are being done, and an OSHA 30 is ultimately what's required on the job site. So as far as the third-party safety audits, that would be based on job by job. That's based on each project, whether that's required or not.
Yeah, Mark hit it. I mean, OSHA 30 is required for anybody who actually steps on a job and is going to be performing work. OSHA 10 at a minimum for management. So the answer is yes. But that was a great question.
Yep.
Great.
Next questions, by the way.
Next question. Are we union, prevailing wage, or open shop? Mark, can you handle that question, please?
So generally, the Port Authority is prevailing wage. We are a union contractor. So some of these opportunities may result in a PLA being executed. We will be able to further define an answer to that as we progress some of these projects down the line.
But I do want to remind everyone, whether you are or not, that you do pre-qualify. Being non-union does not stop you from pre-qualifying with Holt Construction. So make sure that you do pre-qualify. Just check the box that you're non-union, and something will be provided that has a PLA that you could have opportunity on. So the door is never closed to anyone here. Next question. Are there opportunities to train to hire construction training? If so, how many students would be hired? So I welcome that question to our next segment starting at 12:30. It's all about the hiring. It's a Holt's own hiring. It's through the unions. It's how you can get into the union. It's the Pre-Apprenticeship Program for Newark. So I welcome all of you with employment questions to hold on for another 11 minutes, and you'll see all of those presentations, and you can ask all of those questions then of those professionals. Next question. Is there a need for safety oversight on this project? So Mark, can you get that one for me?
Yes, there will be. Please reach out to us. I'm sure that we'll be reaching out to you as well. So yeah, just please reach out to us. I'm going to go as fast as I can so we can get as many questions as we can in our 11 minutes.
I know we have 73 still going. So
Great.
I just want to make sure that everybody knows, if I do not get to your questions, please email them to us and we will send them to one of the people on our panel and they will answer them for you. So if we don't get to your questions in the time we have, please make sure that you email them and we will get you that answer. Next question. You have mentioned focused on the community development, but are you going to be considered a DBE certified by PA, New York, New Jersey, interstate, meaning located in another state? That one's a little.
Yes, so I can help out there. And to the question earlier about the different types of certification, and we want to have opportunity for all. DBE certifications are directly tied to federal funding. And so to the extent there are federal fundings on projects, we do in fact include the DBEs, and we do like to include local DBEs. So what I would say to this firm, congratulations on being a DBE, but also consider other certifications that might be more appropriate working with Holt on this particular project, such as an MBE, SBE, WBE, SDVOB, and the like. So don't limit yourself to just one certification, and make yourself, position yourself for as much opportunity as possible.
Perfect. Thank you, Keith.
You're welcome.
The next question is, where do we find contract opportunities for this project? So in the chat, we're going to put the link to the outreach website for Holt's Newark Terminal A for all of our projects. That will be updated as the projects roll out. So you'll be able to see the actual dates when they're bid. You'll see all the bid packages, and I'll have our consultant put that website in the chat. That website will go live after this program, as well as you will also, by attending, you will receive a publication link for a document that has all of the slides that you saw, all of the information that you saw today. So if you had a little issue with your computer, we're giving you that link to that publication. So all of that information is provided to you as well. And if you don't get it, please make sure you email us at ewrta@holtcc.com, and we will make sure that you get a copy of that publication. Joe Martinez, will Holt be implementing, this is your favorite question, will Holt be implementing BIM plans for execution for the Terminal A project, second tier sub to the prime sub? Will we be using BIM on any of these projects?
Yes, we will. I'm not going to say we're going to use it on all of them, but as the larger projects develop, we are finding that BIM is a useful tool. As you know, here at Holt, it's a big initiative of mine to incorporate BIM with estimating to get some more accurate estimates for our stakeholders. But yes, I'm going to say yes to that question. BIM will be used.
Great. Next question. Will opportunities be there for creative services, marketing, design, signage, web branding, ads, email, direct mail, etc.? So for the projects that we have so far, we have signage. So yes, please pre-qualify for signage. Holt does have in-house marketing, but that doesn't mean that there is no opportunity for you. So please make sure that you pre-qual. And if you have any further questions about what we need, we can also put you in touch with our marketing department, and they can give you opportunity as well. Okay. Next question, will local firms be given priority for subcontracting opportunities on these projects? So Mark, do you want to handle that one?
I do. So there is a bidding process that occurs. A lot of our work is construction management work, where we take multiple subcontractor prices, we level those prices, and we present them to the owner. We absolutely want to work with everybody. So I would say that there's definitely a priority on it, but it's part of our agreement with our owners. But yes, we are looking to work with everybody.
Right, and we want to remind all attendees that that Holt's office has been at 634 Frelinghuysen for over 30 years. So we are part of the community as well, and we hear you, we know. So we want to make sure that you are a part of this project. So definitely pre-qualify with us, because in order to be part of the project, you have to pre-qualify, and we are here to help you do that. Next question. Jessica, is going to be for you. Will there be a need for IT services, solutions, or staffing? So it's an IT question.
Sure. I would say for that, there is a possibility that would be needed. So definitely reach out and fill out the pre-qualification, and we can also pass your information along to the owner in case they need anything separate as well.
Great. Keith, the next question is for you. Are professional services to be pre-qualified with the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey? Do professional services contractors get pre-qualified with the port?
I wouldn't use the word pre-qualified. I would use certified.
Yes.
And so they are certified with the Port Authority, and the Port Authority has a outstanding training program for architects and engineers that we have been running for the last couple of years. So we've already built up a good a number of A&E professionals that within our database that we're happy to share with Holt and anyone else. But they are part of the local community. They are part of the Port Authority database, and they are available to work on this project and other projects.
Great, thank you.
Mhm.
And then for Holt Construction, we do have, we ask you to pre-qualify with us. It's not a certificate as the port has, it's a pre-qualification for us. So we ask you to pre-qualify, and if we don't have opportunity for professional services on some projects, we will definitely forward your compatibility statement and your information to our clients so they have you and they can reach out to you on their own. Next question, does a company have to be certified by the Port Authority to work with Holt, even if the company is MBE certified? So you opt for these projects, you do have to be certified with the Port Authority to work on them. A New Jersey state certification does not translate to a Port Authority project. So we ask you to definitely certify with the port. You have to be pre-qualified to work, certified to work in an airport environment. Keith, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, yes, I think that's a great question. And so the reason why is our executive director said at the outset, and I think your folks said, this is a $2 billion project that the Port Authority is committing to the state. And executive director also announced that we increased our participation goals in 2018. The only way we can track those participation goals against the money that we are investing in the communities is to make sure that the folks are certified with us. And so it's the certified firms who are working on the project with Holt that would count towards that 30% participation. That's why we want you to have a Port Authority certification. That is the key reason. We appreciate the New Jersey and the New York and all those, but it's important to be Port Authority for Port Authority projects.
And Keith, is there an email address or a website that a subcontractor can go to start their pre-qualification with the port?
Absolutely. So it's www.panynjsd.com. And then they can also, if they have questions after that, they can go to kdwright@panynj.gov. That's my personal email if they're having any issues getting certified or understanding the website.
Thank you, Keith. And we also have a page in the publication which lays all of that out for you all so you see it just in case you missed it. And we'll have our consultants put those email addresses in the chat.
Awesome.
Next question. If you, Mark, this is going to be for you. If union affiliation is required, will there be a PLA agreement for the project?
I sort of answered this before. It depends on how the projects evolve. So there will be projects that likely have a PLA. Some of the smaller projects may not, but some of the larger ones that we've discussed will likely have a PLA, and then that can be further defined as we get farther into those programs. Some of them are pretty early on, so that just has not yet developed.
Great. We're running out of time and I still have 117 questions. So I promise we will send you all emails and answer all of your questions before I get cut off. And thank you all for joining us today and asking all these questions. The last question for the day is, are all of these projects mentioned earlier in the presentation, projects 1 through 8, are they all at Newark's new Terminal A? Joe?
The answer is yes. I think Amex.
Yeah.
Same thing. Okay, yes, they all are.
Great. So everybody, these are all for Terminal A. But again, if none of these projects fit you, please make sure you still pre-qualify with Holt because we will have more opportunity for you. So thank you all. I will answer all of your questions. Please stay on for segment 2, which is all about employment and getting an exciting career in construction. Thank you all. Please stay on. Welcome to part 2 of our programming, which is Careers in Construction. It is my pleasure to introduce Jason Spector, Holt Construction's Director of Field Operations. Jason will moderate our next sessions. He is a great example of how one can build a career with a start in the building trades, moving up through the ranks from project superintendent to general superintendent, and now to lead Holt's national field operations. Welcome, Jason. We are excited for your sessions this afternoon.
Good afternoon. We are embarking on a short session to provide you with a brief overview of excellent career opportunities in the construction industry. These include positions both in the field and in the office. Now let's meet our experts. Lino, introduce yourself.
Oh. Hi, everybody. My name is Lino Santiago. I'm the president for the Essex County Building and Construction Trade Council. I also serve as the operating engineer business representative for Local 825.
Richard Malcolm, could you introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Richard Malcolm, president of the Union County Building Trades and also business agent for Ironworkers Local 11.
Chris DeMayo, introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, hello, my name is Christopher DeMayo. I'm with the New Jersey State Building and Construction Trades Council. I'm also the director of the New Jersey Helmets to Hard Hat program.
Musto.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Musto, and I'm the head of human resources for Holt Construction.
Let's start first asking a couple questions to Lino Santiago. Good morning, Lino. Can you please provide our audience a brief summary of the New Jersey Building Construction Trades Council, commonly referred to as the New Jersey BCTC?
Sure, it'll be my pleasure. William Mullen serves as president of the New Jersey State Building Trades. It consists of 15 trades unions, 13 local building trades councils, and more than 100 unions, and over 150,000 members statewide.
How do the union apprenticeship programs work in New Jersey, and what is the application process?
So most programs, they run 4 to 5 years, and the application process has multiple steps. There's an aptitude test followed by an interview. They get scored together, and those scores get tallied, and they work alongside the Department of Labor also, because they manage the program with us, and that's how they get going in that end.
And who would an applicant contact regarding applying for an apprenticeship program?
So the applicants will contact their local unions directly, as every local has slightly different programs based on the skill set. And they can also contact and go on their website, and they provide a lot of information for apprenticeship programs throughout their website, and also call their local unions and figure out which craft they feel more comfortable with, and then pursue that.
Understanding that you're the BA for Local 825 operating engineers, can you speak to in general what the training programs are like and what their outcomes are? Not necessarily for all building trades, if you're more comfortable with the operating engineers, just a brief overview to our people on an apprenticeship program.
Well, our goal is to produce the next generation of operating engineers. That being said, we provide middle class an opportunity for those members to be part of the middle class. Our members also will they're part of the community in which they work in. We have a very robust apprenticeship program. Like I said before, it's a 4-year program, and there's different aspects of it too. So by calling our union hall or calling our going on our website, you will be able to see all the information that is provided for the apprenticeships.
Let's ask a couple questions, Richard Malcolm. Richard, you serve as the president of the Union County BCTC, similar to what Lino does for Essex County. Can you explain how your organization works?
Well, for the apprentices, we accept all apprentices, with applicants throughout the aptitude testing and everything. We do help the Helmets to Hard Hat program. We also use the VOTEX for career days and bring the qualified personnel into our program, even as second or third year apprentice at that point, showing if they have the skill set necessary.
Thank you. Can you speak about new opportunities that are emerging in the building trades? Right now, we're seeing a lot of workers aging out, retiring, leaving the workforce. Can you let us know a little bit about how you see opportunities for apprenticeship as we're in this revolving door process in the building trades that we're all in?
Yeah, we try to stay ahead of the curve. And as we see retirees eligible for retirement or future retirees, we try to bring as many apprentices to maintain the workforce for the jobs out in the field and keep our workers moving.
Do you have any special opportunities for women and minority and new apprenticeship opportunities as we're seeing a large increase of women and minorities in joining the union building trades?
Yeah, we're an equal opportunity organization, and which complies with the DOL regulations. In short, like helmets to hard hats, anyone that applies with the iron workers is an automatic member, into the apprenticeship.
Couple quick questions, since you and Lino are the heads of each union's building trades councils, what kind of advice could you give our audience who may be trying to decide if a career in the union building trades is right for them? I'll open that up to both of you.
All right. One of the advice that I always give the young kids is to try to connect with whatever it is that they're looking for. Because if they're able to connect with a trade and they're passionate about it, that'll be a successful outcome for that young man or woman. Also, but to be resilient and to be proactive and not to lose the hope that if in the event that this year he didn't make the cut, to give up on it, right? You got to keep trying, because it is it is very wealthy to be a part of a local union, regardless of which one it is, because like I said before, we're providing careers for those young men and women, and the apprenticeship programs comes at no cost to them. So if they choose not to go to college, for example, a college career on a 4-year program, you're talking about a lot of money. For building trades, there's no cost associated with it. And that's a big deal when those kids come out. So we encourage them to participate, to be active, to really be passionate about what they're getting themselves into, because that'll make a much better apprentice.
Thank you, Lino. So is there anything you could add to that, Richard?
Yeah, each trade goes through a whole method of training, through their industry to become pre-qualified in all segments of the trade, and they're going to earn a better living. It's going to become a family wage. You make a buck, you spend a buck.
Let's introduce Chris DeMaio. Chris, you're the lead for Helmets to Hard Hats program for the New Jersey BCTC, along with other roles that you fill. Can you please share some information on the Helmets to Hard Hat program with us?
Once registered, New Jersey Helmets to Hard Hats works not only to assist participants gain acceptance into one of our registered apprenticeship programs through the process, essentially making an application, testing, interview, preparation. We also, make sure that they're gaining the necessary skills, to be successful once they are apprentices.
That's very interesting. Who's eligible to apply? Is it active veterans, detaching veterans, or reservist eligible? Who's eligible for Helmets to Hard Hats?
Yes, active servicemen and women, National Guard, veterans who've served honorably throughout all branches of the military.
That's fantastic. How do you help the Helmets to Hard Hats candidates get the right opportunity with the union building trades?
Sure. Yeah. A lot of the times when they're coming towards us through, applying to Helmets to Hard Hats, they already have an idea of some of the trades that they want to pursue, mainly because they have experience or they're currently working in that particular trade. But we certainly educate them on all the trade unions, all the various opportunities that we have. The idea is to give them as many opportunities as possible. Just to give you a little bit on that.
How long does your program last, Chris? Do you take the apprentice candidates and as soon as they run through your program, Helmets to Hard Hats is done with them? Or do you stay with them and help them make help them adapt and get placed and established in that local union?
Yeah, I mean, it's a yearly program, but you know, there are participants in our program until they're actually gaining acceptance into a trade union, starting their apprenticeship program. So yeah, they're with us throughout that duration, but you know, and once they do actually get accepted in, and once they do start their apprenticeship program, you know, we also like to keep track of them, making sure that we're still providing assistance and support however needed. You know, so, you know, that relationship really never ends. You know, we're continuing to work with them constantly, you know, continuously.
That's great that there's a support system. A lot of the veterans that are coming out are looking for a support system. They're looking to establish the new normal. So that's great that your program offers that. Now that there are more women in the military, are you seeing them express more interest in your program than you have in the past?
Sure. Yeah, there's you know, there is definitely some interest with women when they transition out of the military. You know, each year we have a few, and you know, and really those women that do get accepted in do become apprentices, and they fare very well in the trade. So they do really well.
How do interested candidates connect with you and the Helmets to Hard Hat program?
Yeah, well, they can register right on our webpage, njh2h.org. They can contact me directly. We'll work to make sure that they're set up through New Jersey Helmets to Hard Hats. You know, a lot of the times we're doing presentations on military installations and career fairs where they can link up with us. But a lot of it is word of mouth. They're transitioning out of the military. They're interested in construction. They hear about New Jersey Helmets to Hard Hats, and they're getting directed towards myself, especially if they're living and plan to work in New Jersey.
Chris, thank you for everything. We're going to link your contact information into this as well. Now that we've learned more about the opportunities within the union building trades, let's meet my colleague, Chris Musto, who is Holt's Director of Human Resources and leads all of Holt's recruitment efforts. Can you please describe Holt's recruitment and hiring process?
Sure. Once a position has been identified and approved, we do post that position on Holt's career website and other various websites as LinkedIn and ZipRecruiter. Once candidates have been identified, they go through a thorough phone screening, and then they're presented to the hiring manager. The hiring manager then reviews the candidates that are presented. They provide feedback on who they'd like to meet with. I then schedule those candidates to come in to meet with the hiring manager and other employees that they'll be working with. We try to respect the candidate's time and schedule them all in the same day. So we're not bringing candidates back and forth as they are, you know, working at other organizations as well. And then once a candidate has been identified for the position, an offer usually goes out within 2 to 3 business days, and then we agree on a start date for them to join Holt.
That seems like a very well-refined process. Thank you. For those who would like to explore working with Holt, what steps should they take?
Well, I would say there's a number of steps. One, if they know someone that works at Holt already, they should go speak to them and ask them if they know of any opportunities. They could go onto our website as well, the Holt's career website, and see if there's an opportunity for them. They can also send out their information to our HR email address at hr@holtcc.com. And they can also reach out to me directly on my LinkedIn page.
If someone wants to explore a career in the construction industry, are there opportunities currently available at Holt?
Yes, Holt is always looking for qualified candidates, regardless if we have an opening or not. If we have a qualified candidate that has what Holt's looking for, we will reach out and speak with them.
Holt is a very family-oriented, family-feel corporation. I know you've instituted a Holt 360 rotational management program to help employees really find their paths inside the organization. Can you share us a little bit of information about how your 360 rotational management program works?
Absolutely. So the Holt 360 rotational program, it's a great way for someone that could be in the trades, someone graduating trade school, high school, or even a college graduate to gain experience in the construction industry. They'll have opportunity to rotate from the field as an assistant super to the project management side as an assistant project manager, as well as rotate in a office setting as an assistant estimator, so they can understand how to price out a project. Once they have finished the rotations, we will place them in an area where they excelled at and they feel that they will really be a good fit for Holt, to actually have them start a long career at Holt.
I'd like to thank you, Chris, and everyone on our panel today for taking the time to explain what all of your organizations have to offer. Now that we have information about apprenticeship programs, corporate positions within Holt Construction, let's shift gears and learn more about pre-apprenticeship programs. Welcome, everyone. This portion of our session will introduce you to the Elizabeth Development Company and the work that they are doing to provide pre-apprenticeship training to the local New Jersey residents. Edgar Lopez, EDC's Director of Neighborhood Revitalization and Workforce Development, is here to share more with us. Edgar, good morning. Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself, and then can you tell us more about the Elizabeth Development Company and what it does?
Like you said, I'm Director of Workforce Development. I've been doing this for about 5 years now. Our goal here at EDC is to create opportunities for local residents at many job sites and new projects that are either projected or underway here in this area. So we have a pre-apprenticeship program that we're really excited about sharing with you today.
Edgar, can you tell us the difference between an apprenticeship and a pre-apprenticeship program?
So the difference between a registered apprenticeship program and a pre-apprenticeship program is that the pre-apprenticeship program is preparing participants to eliminate barriers to entry into that career field. An apprenticeship program is a great career. It's not just a job. It provides a structured work environment where people can move up the chain, they can increase their salary and make decisions on a lifelong basis and not have to jump from job to job. The pre-apprenticeship program allows program participants to eliminate barriers to entry, such as not having a driver's license. That is one of the requirements. We help them to overcome any barriers to reinstate their driver's license. They need a high school diploma. We help them get their GED. They need their high school transcripts to apply. So all these things are often factors that people do not know when they go and apply to a construction trade union. They have the idea that it's just another job that they can apply to. They can just print a copy of the resume, walk up to the office and get hired. And that is often not the case. There are application dates that are published seasonally. Some registered apprenticeship programs have them twice a year, one in the spring, one in the fall. Some have them once a year. Some are online, some are in person where you have to line up at 5 a.m. in the morning or even earlier because there's only about 100 applications that are given out. So it depends on which construction union is having an application, what things are needed for the applicant to be successful in applying. And we help them with all that. We work with the unions. Our programs are made in partnership with the different trade unions. They are actually sponsors on our applications to the state. So they know that we will be sending them applicants beforehand.
What are the programs in more detail that are available to local New Jersey residents?
So right now we are implementing the NJ Bill program for women and minorities. And the aim of that program is to increase women and minority participation in the skilled construction trades. That program offers a lot. So all we need is an intake form, which is 2 pages, and a drug policy, because all applicants have to get drug tested. Then we need 2 forms of ID. One mandatory form of ID is a valid New Jersey driver's license, and they can just, whatever other form of ID they have. With that, they're set to go. So once we have an interview with them and they understand what it means to work in construction, working outside, working inside, there's certain physical requirements that are needed. By the time we look on the calendar and we say, what time of the year is it? What unions will have applications opening soon? So we present the different trades because not everyone wants to be a carpenter or an electrician. Some people are more inclined towards plumbing, and some others, they want to work with HVAC. So there's a wide array of choices under the umbrella of construction. So during that time, we work with them on that. We'll send them to get their OSHA 30 certification. we'll send them to get hands-on construction training, either as an electrical assistant or or 320 hours in general construction. If for whatever reason they miss an application date or they get turned down, we don't give up on them. We continue to work with them. We'll try to find them employment in a related field or a related employer so that they can gain the experience so that they can put on their resume so that they're successful in applying, eventually successful in applying to a construction trade union.
How long does the program take, and what kind of time commitment does someone have to dedicate to your training program?
So the time varies because we know approximately when some trade unions will have their applications, they often shift. They're not always at the same time during the year. So that makes it tricky. But the good news is that while participants are in our program, we can work with them just to gain the skills that they need to prepare the application, to get the documentation they need, to understand what financial costs that they will incur. So for example, while people are training with us, they receive a stipend to cover some of the expenses of having to go to school and the expenses of travel related to the training. We also identify other costs such as union initiation fees, which can vary from $200 to $600. We assist our program participants with those initiation fees, which is often a barrier to entry for those that don't have those funds available.
How should residents determine that a pre-apprenticeship program is the right step for them?
So the way we determine that these programs are rewarding for local residents is because we see the end result, the end product. It's a career that pays well. All that's required is a high school diploma. Yes, we do help build residents' resumes up so that their application is competitive. Because as you know, or as you know from your career in construction, the career is financially rewarding. It is. So a lot of people, they don't know how to approach it, how to approach the front door. So we provide that guidance and orientation for them.
As the construction industry is very diverse and becoming more diverse daily, can you tell us, do you have any programs that are geared towards women and minorities?
Or so we market heavily toward women and minorities, which we're based in northern New Jersey, so we get the word out. The old days, I'll just use that phrase, perhaps, union apprenticeships were not marketed as widely, so the audience was very narrow and limited. Now we just try to bring, I guess, the good news that these opportunities exist right into the neighborhood. And, we do encourage women because women haven't traditionally chosen construction as a career path, but there are many opportunities for women, and many of the trade unions are reaching out and trying to be proactive in increasing the number of women participants. The Carpenters Union has done a great job, the Laborers Union, the Plumbers Union. So
you've shared some very important information with us about the programs you had to offer. How would interested candidates contact you?
Thanks, Jason. Yeah, they could reach out to our main office number, 908-289-0262. My extension is 218, or they could email me directly at elopez@edcnj.org.
Thank you, Edgar.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for segment 2. With us today for segment 2, we have Jason Spector, Holt Construction's Director of Field Operations. We have Lino Santiago, President of the Essex County Building Trades and the Business Rep for Local 825. We have Chris Musto, Holt Construction's Director of Human Resources. And we have Edgar Lopez, Director of Neighborhood Revitalization and Workforce Development for the Elizabeth Development Company. Welcome, gentlemen, and thank you so much for joining us today to answer all of our questions from the audience.
Thank you, Alex.
First question is going to be for you, Lino. Since this project will be in Newark and Elizabeth, is there a way to do special apprenticeship classes with the trades for Newark and Elizabeth residents?
Well, every construction trade, they have their own apprenticeship program, and the dates are different, right? So to something to be specific to that, that will have to fall under the scope and the regulations that every apprenticeship program has to go under. We welcome the opportunity. We currently also have a lot of apprentices that are currently in the apprenticeship programs with the different trades, and also with the pre-apprenticeship programs that a gentleman like Edgar is producing young men and women to participate with the trades.
Great. And Edgar, for your program for the Elizabeth Development Company, are there any special classes just for residents of Elizabeth, and how do they become a part of that?
Sure. If there's any interested participants that want to become involved in the pre-apprenticeship program, we have classes starting on a monthly basis. We have one coming up later this month, and in January we have a few classes starting. All they need to do is reach out to us and we can get them signed up.
Great. And just like in the last segment, we're going to issue every attendee a copy of the publication. Well, you'll have the contacts for all of the local unions, as well as Edgar's program and a complete description of the Elizabeth Development Company's program. So you'll have all of that information at your fingertips via email. If you do not receive that email link to that publication, please make sure you email us at EWRTA@holtcc.com, and we'll make sure you get a copy of that. Lino, question. How does an MWBE firm become a part of the New Jersey building trades?
Well, it depends what kind of trade they're looking to work in. They usually will reach out to the local union, contact their organizing department if they want to be a signatory contractors with that particular trade. And by contacting the local organizing department, they could direct them better how they will become a signatory contractor as a small business contractor to be able to do the work on different jobs.
Great. Next question. Where do I get information on the apprenticeship applications with the local union? So I can answer that for you, Lino. Like I said, it's in the publication for each local union. Each trade has their own requirement, right, Lino?
Yes.
So then just look in the publication at whatever trade that you're looking into and make with that contact. And if you have any problems with that, please make sure you email us and we'll be happy to help you move along.
You can also contact the building trades. In the building trades publication in their website, they provide all the contacts for all the local unions affiliated with the building trades.
Perfect. Question. So I'm going to ask this for Lino and then for you, Edgar. Lino, can you explain about some of the benefits of completing the apprenticeship program as far as wages, medical, and pension? What are the benefits of being a union apprentice?
Sure. So the apprentice, when they come into the program, they start at a lesser, at a percentage of the current journeyman rate. So for example, the first year apprentice will get 60% of the journeyman rate, and they progress 10% every year until they graduate. When they graduate the program, they will be paying full rate, and they will be also carrying full benefits for healthcare, pension, and all the packages that are associated with that individual local.
Great. And Edgar, as far as the pre-apprenticeship program, what are the benefits of the pre-apprenticeship program and using your program? What are some of the benefits?
So the pre-apprenticeship program is designed to get you ready to show up and present a competitive application to what Lena was mentioning, that each different trade union has applications that open at different times of the year. So for example, I was reading in the questions that what happens if I don't have a high school diploma? So we can help you get that, try to line it up with the calendar so that when you do obtain that, you can submit your application. Or if there's issues with driver's licenses, we help you get ready for the math aptitude tests. We provide assistance with union initiation fees. We do provide training. If we can put that before the application date, we'll send you to train, get your OSHA 30 certification so that you can submit a competitive application.
Great. Chris Musto, what are some of the current job postings for our Newark market?
So for Newark, we're looking for both project managers and also superintendents to join us within the next couple months.
Now, Jason, here's a question for you, because I know that you review the employment applications for all of the field superintendents that Holt hires. As far as a resume, what is something that you specifically look for when a person is applying to Holt Construction as a superintendent?
What we look for, Alex, is the firms that they're with now, the project description is key to us. What types of projects? Is it food and beverage? Is it aviation? Is it healthcare? Any certifications that you may have. If it's your Osha, a New York City superintendent's license. And then we evaluate it all. And another thing that we look at is longevity.
And Chris Musto, when you're reviewing a resume for someone, are there some tips that you could give people when they're preparing their resume? Because I know when I do my own resume, it's very mystifying and I don't know what people are looking for. So what do you look for as a hiring lead at Holt Construction in a resume?
I look for, their previous positions, what they were doing in their positions, what experience, what projects they worked on, either be interiors, aviation, healthcare, discussing, what their actual responsibilities were in those projects and see how that correlates to what we're looking for here at Holt.
Great. Edgar, next question is for you. Is there a difference between the Elizabeth Development Company Pre-Apprenticeship Program and the one in Newark that's offered by Newark Works?
The programs are very similar. If you're a Newark resident, I would encourage you, to visit that office because they also offer training, very similar services that we provide. We do service the rest of Essex County, Union County, Hudson. So if there's residents in those areas, we'd be more than happy to help them.
Great. And if anyone needs a question or a contact of Newark Works, please send us an email and we'll forward it on to them. They were not able to be present today, but they will be part of future programming. So please make sure that you send us your question and we'll follow it on. You know what? Edgar and Lino, this is a question that keeps coming up and I had the same question and you both demystified it for me. What's the difference between the apprenticeship program and a pre-apprenticeship program? I know you guys clarified it when we chatted before, but can you give it to the audience? Because it's so confusing for me and I think it would help the audience greatly. So Edgar, can you start with the pre-apprenticeship program?
Sure. So we help you prepare so that you can submit an application to the apprenticeship program that a particular union has. So a lot of people don't know, what they need to have in hand on the day of the application. They also may not know where to find the announcement or where to even go. Some of them are online, some of them are in person. So it depends what union, and different unions ask for different things. So we work with individuals to make sure they have a valid New Jersey driver's license, as most unions require that in the state of New Jersey, a high school diploma. Some unions ask for a copy of the high school transcripts. So if you don't have those and you show up to the application date without that in hand, you're going to get turned away. So we help them prepare that. We help applicants get their Osha 30 and access to other types of training, because some people don't have any experience and they do want to work in construction, but they don't have any experience. So we help them prepare all the paperwork necessary so that when they show up on time, they know what they have to do, where to go. And also, a lot of times people don't have the initiation fees to pay to get into the union. That's a barrier to entry. So we assist them with that.
That's great. Lino, the apprenticeship program.
So the apprenticeship programs is a DOL registered apprenticeship program. Most of them are 4-year for the apprenticeships. And also they participate to every different local union that's out there. To become an apprentice, again, you have to be 18 years old, have a valid driver's license for the application. You have to show your transcript before the application. But all this information is provided in the website before the advertisement go out, usually a month before the apprenticeship classes come out. Usually the advertisement will come out from different trades, and they use different social media outlets to announce it, either Facebook, Instagram. It could be their own website that they put that information out. And they do a pretty good job explaining what they need before they come out. So when they come out, they'll be ready for it. And that's basically the difference.
Great. Next question. We have a lot of questions for you gentlemen today. What is the career path for someone who has no experience in construction?
Definitely an apprenticeship program.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. I mean, Jason Spector is part of our panel, and he started out in the apprenticeship program, becoming, right, Jason? What was your path into construction?
Path was residential, got into the union, developed through the apprenticeship training program, journeyman upgrade classes that the unions continue to offer. They will further your career as you progress. Each local has their own individual ones. And you could take any classes now. You could take superintendent training classes. You could take blueprint reading classes. You could go back for refreshers. We could expand on it more, but once you're in, you are supported for your entire career.
And in our programming over the next 90 days and over our next year, we are going to have sessions just with Lino and just with Edgar so that we can do an in-depth deep dive onto their programs, and we can give you all of that information during our programming coming in January. The last question, Chris Musto, where do I get an application for the Holt 360 program?
Well, they can go onto our website at holtcc.com and click on the link, which will be able to print out an application, or they also can reach out to hr@holtcc.com and request one, and we'll send one out to them.
Great. And and all of the opportunities, some of them you listed those are for non-construction trades like accountants, those kinds of office staff we're looking to hire as well, compliance officers, right, Chris?
Correct. Those will be on our career section of our website as well.
Great. Lena, what happens if you don't get into the pre-apprenticeship program? What if they don't get an application? What should they do? Should they just keep trying? What is there a pathway for someone that doesn't get in the first time? Do they have to keep trying? What happens with that?
Is that question for me or for Edgar?
I'm gonna give it to both of you.
Programs with Edgar.
Oh, Edgar, I'm sorry. See, I told you I was confused. Edgar, can you answer that?
Yes. So everyone can get into the pre-apprenticeship program. So, we're not going to turn anyone away. Then, I guess if they apply to apprenticeship and they don't make it that year, then I guess Lino could follow up on that.
Yeah, usually once they apply and they send the application, those who didn't make the apprenticeship program, their application stays active for 2 years in the event another program is created or they have some of the kids drop out for whatever the reason. They will have a pool of kids available for the next 2 years.
Great. So this one is definitely for you this time, Lino. How do they apply for the apprenticeship program? Do they go directly to the union or do they go through helmets to hard hats if they are a veteran?
They could go to the helmets to hard hat. Every local union will accept directly, but also the helmets to hard hat has a lot of extra information that they could go, and they could go up to the website, which is www.njbctc.org. And that by going through that website, it will direct them with all the information that they need to go through the helmets to hard hat program, which is a great program.
Okay. Question for Edgar first. If someone has a hit on their license or if they have a past, are there pathways for those people looking to join your pre-apprenticeship program?
Sure, we have different programs. It depends on what the violations are. We have license restoration services, so we work with individuals on a case-by-case basis. No one's turned away. Yeah.
Great, and that's the same thing for Newark Works as well, right, Edgar?
I believe it is.
Okay. And if anybody does have questions that we didn't answer today, because I think that's the last one, please make sure you email us at EWRTA@holtcc.com, and we will answer those questions for you. Thank you to my panel. Thank you to everybody for joining us. I want to wish all of you a happy and healthy holiday season. I will see you all back starting in January for our weekly Opportunity Friday sessions. Our website is now live. We will put that website in the chat. Please make sure you go to our website and register for all of those sessions. Thank you, everyone, and have a great holiday season.